Judge, I don't know that it matters being dressed for court. Y'all have your robes on, so it's up to yours. We were set here on we came before the court and Miss Duke and I were able, the house actually got sold. We got a contract on the house. And as a result of that, that enabled us to kind of get the property issues resolved because there was a contract on the house. And so that's what we did. We ended up, both parties wanted a divorce. We agreed the wife would be awarded a divorce, and then divided all the assets. So that left only the custody determination to be made. Previously, I was not originally the counsel that filed this petition, but there was a pendente light order that was entered back in April of 2025. And again, Judge Turnbow, as my understanding, that it was that they announced an agreement at that point in time. Ms. Duke, wasn't that correct? It wasn't a hearing. Judge Turnbow was the judge presiding there, but there was a testimony at the time. The parties were able to reach an agreement, and then they went to mediation and were unsuccessful.
I don't care.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
All I'm saying is you had everything else in front of Judge Turnbow and you resolved it. I wasn't sure exactly why this custody issue wasn't, heard.
Because you were the next one in line.
That's fine.
That was
And
it.
I'll be glad to hear it.
There wasn't any testimony on the pendente light hearing that would necessitate going back, and it was just the fact that we settled it when Judge Turnbow was here last month, and so you had an available time. So we said.
That was the April 7th, 2025 pendente lighting motions, order rather. All right.
Yes, sir. And that's what the parties have been going by. Your Honor, these parties, again, as we said, we stipulated grounds for divorce. They've been declared divorced. The parties have one minor child, Bryce, who will be 4 years of age come this September. At the time of the separation, the mother remained in the home. The father moved out in an apartment. Mr. Cuff filed for divorce, and he filed a parenting plan where he was asking for an equal residential schedule, 182.5 days each. They came to a hearing and announced an agreement wherein the mother was designated as the primary residential parent, the father was designated as the alternate parent. And the father, they split the child, although not on an equal basis, but pretty close. The father had the child from Friday at 3 until Thursday at 7 a.m. when the child would be dropped off at daycare. And he did that every other week. And then on the alternate week, he had from Sunday to Tuesday. So effectively a 2-4 schedule with the father. As I said, Mr. Bryce will be 4 years of age come this September. My client works as a in the software industry and works from home. He has kind of a unique schedule wherein that he works a lot of evenings because he deals with foreign customers, and he has to keep that schedule so he's available effectively to be there for the child. The mother, as I understand, works a split 2 days home, 3 days at the office schedule with more traditional hours. Both parties are capable parents. Both parties loves the child, and this is just a unique situation, Your Honor, where they can a 50-50 schedule would be appropriate. My client is asking to be designated as the primary residential parent, and we would ask, and the reason for that, Your Honor, is effectively that they would have joint decision making. But if somebody had to effectively make the decision, he would ask to do that. Both parties have provided the day-to-day caregiving of the child. Both capable and able-bodied to do it. Both have jobs that lend themselves to be able to have a 50-50 residential schedule. And again, Your Honor, that's what we're requesting.
When you say a 50-50 schedule, what are you?
Well, Your Honor, at the time, the schedule that Mr. Cuff, when his previous attorney, Ms. Lowe, was practicing, he asked for a split from a Friday to Tuesday and then a Saturday but again, the week-to-week, he's about to be 4 years of age, and I think a week-to-week schedule would be appropriate. If the child was any younger, again, possibly where the child doesn't go 7 days without seeing either parent. But I think in this situation, a week-to-week schedule, or in the alternative, a 2-5-5-2 schedule would be what we would be asking for, such as he would have, as I understand it, Ms. Cuff has 2 days she works remote and 3 days that she is in Brentwood, where her employer is. And so again, designating if she has those set days that he would have, again, effectively Monday, Tuesday, she would have Wednesday, Thursday, and they would alternate the weekends. So it would effectively be 2-5-5-2 if you wanted to do something less than a week to week. So those are the two schedules that we would propose that would be appropriate for Bryce. And again, what goes along with it, there hasn't been any indication through discovery that either party intends to relocate outside of Dixon County, but we would request that Dixon County be designated as the school that the child goes to. Again, within Dixon County, there's several different, whether they're Charlotte, White Bluff, or Dixon or Burns. Again, we would ask that Dixon County be designated as where the child goes to school.
Duke?
Your Honor.
The rule has been requested. If there are any witnesses other than the parties that need to go outside and remain outside until you're called to testify, you're not to discuss the testimony of any other witness until you yourself have concluded your testimony. So. All right, anybody that's going to be a potential witness? All right, go ahead.
Judge, what Your Honor is going to hear today is that the mother has always been the primary residential parent, making sure that this minor child is cared for. When Ms. Roberts stated what the current schedule is, it was a little off. I think she just misspoke regarding one of the days. The current schedule is Friday to Tuesday and Sunday to Tuesday. So it's a 3-2 split. And I would submit to the court that when that schedule was established, it was established with the parties' work schedules in mind. I would submit to the court that the father, I think he's quite bold in asking for primary residential parent in that he has completely thrown his marriage away with a paramour wherein he was repeatedly leaving this minor child for the mother to take care of, which was fine with the mother, and flying across the country for an internet sex hookup. And as I understand it, Mr.
An internet sex hookup?
Yes, Your Honor. He met a
According to the file, you're saying it was Washington State that he was going to?
Yes, Your Honor. And he was flying there routinely, specifically when the child had a overnight stay at the hospital. Father took off and went on to Washington State instead of sticking around to find out if the child was okay. Father has left the child, I wouldn't say neglected. I'm not going to say that he is a bad father, but he has chosen sex and a girlfriend over his minor child. And that does put him in a questionable light as far as this court is concerned regarding his ability to care for the minor child. I think the court's going to have to glean from some of the things that Your Honor hears today that he's quite deceitful about his time with the minor child and when he's actually exercising his time. We built into the temporary schedule a provision wherein if the father was not going to be with the minor child for a period of time, that he would contact the mother to allow the mother to have the child. Proof is going to show today that repeatedly he, during visits, has gone to the gym and spent more than 2 hours there with his girlfriend watching over him while he's there. The girlfriend is the internet sex hookup, now girlfriend, maybe fiance. He's been wearing a ring, though I'm not sure he's got it on today. Your Honor's going to find that he was required not to have the minor child around the girlfriend, fiance, whatever she is, but he has routinely video gamed with she and her children, and the minor child has been exposed during this time period. He's had difficult time following the court's orders. Court's going to find that he would leave early in the morning at like 4 a.m. to go work out at the gym, leaving the mother with the burden of caring for and getting the child up for daycare and getting the child to daycare. I will say he did pick the child up from daycare routinely, but he cast his family, including the minor child, aside for this woman in Washington. I think the court's going to find that when he could exercise time with his child, he chose to go to Washington instead of being with the child. So that's the crux of the case. We are going to need to calculate child support today. Your Honor is going to have to rule on visitation. We are asking that based on the agreement of the parties originally for what would work best for this child, that remain the case. I think the mother could come before this court today and ask that he just get an every other weekend schedule, because frankly, I think that that's what he wanted on the front end, but was pressured by his family to ask for something different. I think his text messages are going to show that. The text messages, I will say also, the text messages show that he specifically, when he was cheating on his wife, made arrangements with the girlfriend saying, I can't come to Washington until I have a custody order in place. And so he was being manipulative of this court. He was being manipulative with the wife. He was being manipulative with the child in order to try to get what he wanted custody-wise. Your Honor is going to have to consider that there are daycare expenses involved in this matter, and we're asking for the mother to be able to make all the decisions, or at the very least make the final decision with regard to decision-making.
All right, Ms. Roberts, you may call your first witness. Yeah. I've read through the file. The file shows that it's Friday at 3 p.m. to Tuesday at 7 a.m.
Yes, it's
when the father drops a minor child off at daycare every other week. And then Sunday at 6 p.m. to Tuesday at 6 p.m. on the alternate week.
That's correct. And so it'd be a 3.5 day, 2 day. Fair enough.
State your name for me, please, sir.
Matthew Tyler Cuff,
And Mr. Cuff, you presently reside where?
638 East Forest Park in Dixon, Tennessee.
And how long have you lived over at East Forest Park?
Since the end of February of 2025.
Okay, and that's where you moved when you vacated the marital residence. Is
Yes,
that
ma'am.
correct?
Yes.
You and your wife, your ex-wife now, Mrs. Kayla Michelle Cuff, lived where together?
We lived at 534 Country Club Drive in Dixon, Tennessee.
And when, did y'all purchase that home together?
Yes, we did.
And again, you heard Ms. Duke's opening wherein you just, vilified you, that you abandoned your family for sex. Is that true?
Yes, I heard that.
Heard that, but that wasn't a true statement.
No, ma'am.
Let's talk about your commitment to your family, sir. You and Mrs. Cuff married when?
June 3rd, 2018.
And
Mr.
at
Cuff,
that-
pull that microphone towards you just a little bit. The bass will slide. There you go.
Yes, Your Honor.
So again, repeat, when did you marry?
June 3rd, 2018.
Okay, and was it a first marriage for both of y'all?
Yes, ma'am.
And tell me at the time, what were you doing when y'all married? What type of job did you have?
I was a software engineer.
And the same thing that you're doing now, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did Ms. Cuff do?
She worked as an LPN for a cosmetology company.
Okay, and is she still an LPN?
Yes.
And is she still working for the same company?
No, ma'am.
And what did, you know where she's working now?
She's working at Medify Health.
And what does she do there?
I think she's a clinical operations director.
And did she go up in the food chain, if so to speak? Was she working and is she doing better for herself now?
Yes.
And y'all decided to have a child during the course of your marriage, is that correct?
Yes.
And you have Bryce.
Yes, ma'am.
How old, what's Bryce's full name?
Bryce Cameron Cuff.
And how old is Mr. Bryce?
He's 3.5.
And he will be, I believe, 4 in September of this year, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, during the course of your marriage, when y'all married, where were you living?
Before we married, we moved in together before we got married. We were living in Brentwood at an apartment. Do you want the address? 127, I think it was Crestview Drive in Brentwood, Tennessee.
And whose apartment was that? Did y'all rent that together? Or did you move in with her? Or she moved in with you?
We moved in together.
Okay. And so y'all were both working in the area?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you have family here in Dixon, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And who are your people?
My mom and my dad,
What are their names?
David and Debbie Cuff.
And where do they live?
They live right down the road, 522 Country Club Drive.
Okay. And does she have people in the area?
She does.
Her people.
She has a large family. I have a rather small family. She has her mom that lives here in Dixon, and then the rest of her family live in White Bluff, and then I think her sister lives in Burns.
Okay. So again, she has people in this area, and at some point in time, y'all married, y'all moved in together, and then decided to formalize your relationship. Is that correct? And got married.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you own a home, or did you have any real property at the time?
No, ma'am.
And y'all decided to purchase a home here in Dixon.
Yes, we did.
Was that before or after y'all discovered that you were going to have a child?
That was before we had a child. That was one of the things that we wanted, was to have a house to raise him in.
And what measures did you take in order to ensure?
I received several large raises, and so I used the extra raise that I got to be able to pay for a mortgage along with my family, also helping out with a down payment.
Along with your family, what was that?
Well, our first house, my dad gave me $20,000 from his 401k, and my late granddad gave me $10,000 to put down as a down payment.
So you had about $30,000 down payment, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you used that to purchase your first home?
Yes, ma'am.
Where was that first home?
161 Caraway Court in Dixon, Tennessee.
And was it purchased during your marriage?
Yes,
Or
ma'am.
was it placed in both of your names?
Yes.
Okay. But you got family money to purchase so you and your wife could have a home to start a family.
That's correct.
And then subsequently, y'all moved over next door to your parents.
That's correct.
And did you make any additional payments, or was it all marital money that went into
My grandmother passed away, and my mom was kind of the person managing, like it went to her. And so my granddad always wanted me to have the house that was next to them, but to take care of my grandmother, they had to sell the house for her care. And so my mom, after my grandmother passed away in February of 2024, I believe, she gave me $265,000. That was my inheritance from my grandmother that I put towards the house.
$265,000 and $30,000 of your separate money you went in to establish a home for your family, sir. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And I take it your now ex-wife said, "Tough luck, I want half of everything," didn't she?
Yes, ma'am.
She didn't acknowledge the fact that your family had made a commitment so that y'all could raise your child here in a community where your families live,
I'm
did she?
going to object as to relevance, number one. Number two, the parties have an agreement. He
Absolutely.
agreed as much as she did. So
Your Honor, Ms.
I don't
Duke,
know that that's relevant.
Ms. Duke in her opening argument vilified my client, thinking that he's some sex fiend running off to Washington State to have sex, and that he left his family, and how dare he do that. And again, I have every right to put on what the commitment that this man made to his family and to his children.
I am overruling the objection, allowing the evidence in to rebut any inference that may come up during the defendant's proof regarding his failure to provide adequately for the family or his abandonment of the family. Obviously, what happened then is not necessarily applicable to what happens now, but it does show a history. So overrule the objection.
So again, you committed a significant amount of your separate money in order for your family. Why did you do that?
So that we could have a really nice home to raise Bryce in. And we were 5 houses down from my parents, and my mother is going to be retiring at the end of this year, so we were intending to use them, for childcare and to help out, pick them up from school, things of that nature. So, and we wanted a backyard so that we could put a playground in the backyard for our son, and we did.
Okay. And again, at no point in time during this did you dispute that that the home was a marital asset, and we entered an agreement, did we not, to divide that asset in an equal portion?
Yes, ma'am, we did.
Now, let's just get on to, before we get to some of the other things concerning it, you started having an affair, didn't you?
I did.
Okay, tell me what led to that.
We had some issues in the marriage where that we had kind of grown apart, and somebody reached out to me online and we chatted. It was a very short period of time, about 10-ish days before I actually told Kayla that I wanted a divorce and left the marital home.
So again, when you said reached out to you online, you put something out there.
Yes, at the time I was working out. I used to be really large, and
When did you used to be very large?
I was at my biggest at around 2020, right before my granddad passed away, and he had congestive heart failure, and I was really scared that if I continued down that path, that was going to happen to me, and so that inspired me to try to lose weight, and I did.
And when did you, and this was during your marriage?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
I guess your grandfather died a couple years into your marriage.
He did.
Okay. And so so you were working out?
Yes, ma'am. And I was posting just videos of me, lifting weights on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram.
Did you go on some dating app?
No.
Okay. Again, when you said she reached out to you, you were posting things on social media.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
And some person reached out to you.
Yes.
And who was that person?
That was Ashley Doty.
And she's here today.
She is.
And once y'all made contact, did you begin a romantic relationship?
We did shortly thereafter.
Okay. And did you hide this from your wife?
Initially, yes.
How long did it happen? How long were you involved in this relationship from when it started until you moved out of the home?
Approximately 10 days.
And what prompted you to move out of the house?
I was unhappy in the marriage, and I think that I felt that it was probably in my son's best interest to end the marriage and move on.
And when did you disclose to your wife that you were having an extramarital affair?
She found out, I think it was early March, maybe around March the 10th. And I think she saw a phone, like the phone records, and then confronted me, and then I said that that's what was going on.
Did you lie to her first?
I did.
How long was it before you came clean and told her that you had started one relationship before you finished the other?
Just under a month, I believe.
And had you already gone out and met with this lady? Or was it simply when did you become physical with your girlfriend?
So I left the marital home and then met her like that next day.
Okay. And then after you had left the marital residence, your wife found out about the relationship.
Yes,
Okay. Now, when you left, did you get this apartment that you're living in?
I did.
Okay, and that's where you've been. When you left, did you and she work out any arrangement for your son, Bryce?
We did.
And what was that arrangement?
At the time prior to the hearing on April the 2nd, we were exercising 50-50 custody.
Okay, and what does that explain what that means? I mean, practically speaking, I got Monday, Tuesday, she got Wednesday, Thursday, I got a week, she got a week. What did your
right.
interpretation of 50-50 custody?
We were doing, it was, I believe, a 3-4 split. So it was, I had him for 3 days, she had him for 4, and then I had him for 4, and she had him for 3.
And how long did that work out?
That worked out up until the April the 2nd hearing.
Okay. So, getting this correct, this woman reaches out to you on the internet.
Yes, ma'am.
You respond back.
Yes, ma'am.
Y'all start discussing things. Y'all start talking verbally or just texting, and what did y'all do?
It was both. We were texting, and then we would talk on the phone.
Now, this young lady, her name is, again, what is her name?
Her name is Ashley Doty.
And Ashley lived in Washington State
Yes, ma'am.
and is married, or was married at the time.
Yes, ma'am. She had filed for divorce and was wedded, but she was still married.
And does she have children?
She does. She has 2 children.
And how old are her children?
Her children are 6 and 10.
And so y'all start having a conversation, and you decide that y'all have something in common and want to further your relationship. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You're still living in the marital residence at the time?
Yes, ma'am.
And then what? You tell your wife you're not happy and you're moving out?
I did.
Okay, and you moved out.
I did.
Your wife finds text messages and sees numbers on your phone
Yes, ma'am.
and finds out that you're talking to another woman.
Yes, ma'am.
And in fact, it had sex with that woman at that point in time.
At what point?
Well, when she found out, had you consummated your relationship with your girl?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so when you moved out, saying you're not happy, y'all started this 50-50 division.
Yes, ma'am.
And you continued that. When did you move out again?
Moved out on, I believe it was February the 23rd.
So a few days in February, all of March, and until you went to court in April.
That's correct.
And you had gone on and
I do.
continued your relationship. Go
I
ahead.
need to amend that. So it was the first 4 days. It wasn't until I believe February the 27th that I had to secure a residence. And so during that 4-day window, I picked him up from daycare because I didn't have a residence, and I would take him to a playground, or I took him to get McDonald's, or took him to get his first Disney Pixar car that he loves. So it was during that period of time. We weren't 50-50 until I had housing, which happened
4 days
rapidly.
after you left.
Yes, ma'am.
Were you staying at your parents' in the meantime?
No, ma'am.
Where were you staying?
At the time, my parents were very angry with me. I have a very small family. My circle of people were actually her family, Kayla's family. So I actually didn't have anyone to really rely on in that nature. I did fly to Washington and stayed there for a couple of days, trying to let the emotions blow over because I didn't feel that I could stay at the marital residence. And then secured an apartment, came back, picked up the keys, and immediately went and bought a bed and a dresser for Bryce and some toys to supply an apartment.
After that happened, y'all did the 50-50 up until y'all went to court.
Yes, ma'am.
And then y'all reached an agreement to modify that a little bit.
Yes, ma'am.
And why was it modified? You heard again, Ms. Duke, and her vilifying you that that it worked better for y'all's work schedule.
It was essentially that same thing. That day, it was during an emotionally chaotic time, as you can imagine, with separating and trying to get things lined out. And there were some difficult optics around the fact that I had an affair. And so just as a temporary resolution, I agreed to the temporary parenting plan that we currently have, but with a long-term goal of always seeking equal parenting time.
She's a good mother, isn't she?
Yes,
And you believe you're a good father.
I do.
Let's talk about the day-to-day before this whole affair scenario and being unhappy
Yes, ma'am.
started. Tell me what was y'all's routine?
Our routine was that I would go to the gym in the mornings prior to my shift starting at 7 a.m. I work remotely. And then she would get him ready for daycare, and she would take him to daycare. She had to drive back from Brentwood, and sometimes timing was tight, so I picked him up in the afternoons. And then we both spent time just on the couch watching TV in the afternoons during the work week. And then we were both part of his bedtime routine. It required both of us. And so we would put him to bed approximately between 8:30 and 9 o'clock. For a while, it remained around 8:30. And then that was pretty much it. It was the same for the weekends. I would go to the gym prior to them waking up, and then try to, so I could, be there whenever they were awake. And then we would usually go either do something or hang around, ride the golf cart around the neighborhood together. So that was kind of the routine. It was much more routine, like during the week. It was much more set structure rather than the weekends were kind of.
Well, let's talk about your out of the home time. You worked as a software engineer. Who do you work for?
Everag.
And how long have you worked for them?
I've worked for them for, it'll be 11 years this June.
So during the whole course of your marriage, you've had the same employer.
Yes, ma'am.
And tell me, what is it that you do, sir?
I'm a software engineer. We make agricultural software that is our client, our customers' point of sale systems, like the Dixon Co-op uses our software. I'm also a team lead. I manage a US-based team as well as a contract team in India that I oversee.
Okay. And so what does that entail? You being on the phone and the computer to work?
Yes, ma'am. I don't have a whole lot of meeting heavy days. My meetings are usually short. So that, and then my shift at night has from 9 p.m. to midnight. I'm able to put Bryce down at his normal bedtime and be able to work my shift.
So what days, what is your work day like? What days do you work, sir?
I work Monday through Friday, and I have every other Friday off. You want what's my typical?
So Monday through Friday,
Mhm.
weekends off, but every other weekend you have a 3-day weekend.
Yes,
Friday,
ma'am.
Saturday, Sunday.
And then I get off. I work 7 a.m. to noon. So that's also very favorable for being able to keep
Kind of give me a day in your life.
a day in my life. Okay.
Yeah, as far as work is concerned, you get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, midnight.
No, ma'am.
What do you do?
I usually get up about 6:30, 6:45. I don't know what level of detail, but I have my cup of coffee, and I sign online. And a lot of the stuff that I do is stuff that kind of doesn't require a whole lot of interaction.
You turn your computer on and you're typing data and reading things.
Yes, ma'am.
Inputting
So
information.
yes, ma'am. So it could be coding. It could be reviewing other people's code submissions, was what I spent a lot of my time doing, reviewing work items that need to be worked on, and making sure that the team has enough work to make it through the end of the day or the end of the week, depending on how much work we have available.
So as the supervisor, you assign different tasks to different people.
Yes, ma'am.
And so that's your scheduling, reviewing things, but you're sitting there at a computer screen, inputting information or reviewing information.
Yes, ma'am.
And where's that office located? When you were at home,
hmm
and again, when I say home, where y'all live together.
Yes, ma'am.
Where, did you have a separate office?
It was the bonus room that was also sort of Bryce's playroom. And so that's where that we spent a lot of time. And we also had gaming consoles, both Kayla and I. And so we'd be gaming sometimes at night, and Bryce would be playing with his toys, or we'd be playing with Bryce. But also my desk was in the corner where that I worked. So I would work as well.
So 7 o'clock our time, Central Standard Time, you log on, you start working,
Yes, ma'am. 7 a.m. to noon our time,
Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday.
And then, is that all you did? Did you said you have a team in India?
I do, yes.
And as far as I understand, again, India's on a little different time zone than what we are.
They very much are.
So did you have to also accommodate and actually get on the computer and work at odd hours because you have a foreign?
Yes, ma'am. Yep. Yes, ma'am. So at night time, I have to log on at 9 p.m. and I work until midnight.
And that's Monday through Friday,
That is also, yes, ma'am.
except the Friday when you're off.
Yes, ma'am.
So you work from 7 to 12,
Yes, ma'am.
then from noon until 9 o'clock at night,
hmm
you're off.
Yes, ma'am.
Log back on at 9,
Yes, ma'am.
work till midnight,
Yes, ma'am.
go to bed, stop, rinse, repeat.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that it? Okay. And how did that work when y'all were together with Bryce?
That schedule actually happened right around April the 2nd. I don't remember the exact date. That had just happened
After you left?
after I left.
So so that's what you've got now.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you see that changing at any point in time?
It is possible. It's always possible that that the schedule could change, but it has been stable for over a year at this point.
So you may get a team that's not in India and you have to change your time, or is that?
No, my time would stay the same. The only thing is maintaining the teams in India. That would always necessitate the split.
So what was her schedule when what was your schedule and her schedule when y'all were living together before you left the marital residence?
Yes, ma'am. I can start with mine. Mine was, again, 7 a.m. Until 5 p.m., and I had an hour lunch, and I worked from home full time.
So you had more of a traditional schedule when y'all were together.
Yes, ma'am.
What about your wife's, Miss Caleb? What was hers?
Her schedule, I don't know that she had a hard start time. It seemed that she had some flexibility with the morning time, and then she also had some flexibility with leaving, but typically she was trying to leave around 8 a.m., and then she would try to leave the office around 4 p.m. and then drive back from Brentwood.
Did she have a split schedule where she worked from home sometimes and in the office sometimes?
Yes, ma'am, she did. She worked 3 days. It was Monday, Tuesday, Thursday in the office, and she worked 2 days remote. That was Wednesday, Friday.
So Wednesday, Friday, y'all were both in the house together,
Yes, ma'am.
and otherwise she would leave. So during that period of time, Bryce, y'all married in 18, bought the first house.
Yes, ma'am.
And when did y'all and you were working at this job and had been remote the whole time, correct?
We went fully remote in 2020
2020.
because of
So a couple
COVID.
years after, but before Bryce was born in 2020.
Yes, ma'am, correct.
Okay. And then your wife had worked as an LPN, but in a cosmetology type setting at that point in time, and then she moved. When did that happen?
Yes, ma'am. So when did she move? Well, I think so. Originally, she went to LPN school and had just graduated right as we were moving into the apartment. And I think she spent a brief stint at a nursing facility, an NHC. That was a little bit of a drive. And then she got, I don't remember the exact dates, but she got the job working at a cosmetology surgery center. And then I don't know, it might have been somewhere close to 2019-ish where that she got the job at Medify.
But from the time that Bryce was born, she's been at Medify and you've been at your company.
Yes, ma'am.
So when Bryce came along, did she have this 2-day at home, 3-day schedule?
I don't think so. I think that, I can't remember the exact schedule, but because she got promotions, there were different expectations. And so I think that they have, she started as a care coordinator, and eventually they started allowing them, I believe, to work fully remote. And so I think that she only spent a brief time where that she was fully remote, and then she became a team lead. And I think they may have required them to come into the office for 1 day a week or something. I'm not exactly sure the exact number. And then her next promotion required her to come in 3 days a week. I believe that's correct, but that could be a little.
So in September of 2020, y'all became pregnant, and in September, y'all were blessed with Bryce.
Yes, ma'am.
So what was y'all's schedule? What did y'all do at that point?
To be able to take care of Bryce.
Yeah.
During that point in time, I was working fully remote, and we had coordinated and got daycare for Bryce to have it ready for whenever her maternity leave ran out. I also had paternity leave for the first 6 weeks. So then after her maternity leave ran out,
How long a leave did she have? You had 6 weeks.
I had 6 weeks.
How long did she have?
I believe it was 3 months. It might have been 4. I don't recall the exact amount. I think it was 3 or 4.
So y'all were both at home. You took time off. She took time off.
Yes, ma'am.
Then you went back to work first
Yes, ma'am.
at home,
Yes, ma'am.
and then she went back to work.
Yes, ma'am.
So what happened at that point in time?
At that point in time, we started taking Bryce to daycare.
And you were still during this period of time, even before, I think you said in 2020 when you lost your grandfather, started focusing on your health and working out.
Yes, ma'am.
And so did you continue, were you going to the gym
Yes, ma'am. The first 6 months I was actually running, and then it turned out that I didn't like running that much, and so I started going to the actual gym. And so I've been doing that since probably somewhere around January of 2021.
then? And would you go at different times, or did a routine develop?
A routine developed. I like to try to go at the same times if I can, and I would go during my hour-long lunch.
So you would leave, you would work and then go. When did you start getting and going early in the morning?
I did that. I had a couple of stints where I tried going in the mornings and then would flip back. But I really started going in the mornings. We went to marriage counseling in 2024, somewhere around June, I believe. And this was one of the things that we talked about. And so one of the things that the marriage counselor got us to kind of come together on was my gym stuff. And so we both agreed that it would be really good to make sure my gym time fit in the mornings at 6 a.m., which didn't really affect things at the time because, not that part, but whenever I was going at lunch, we had Bryce in daycare. So it was helpful for weekends and stuff like that. But that was the point where I went fully with before they were awake and before work. And then I did do both lifting and cardio, like a stair climber, and I would go during my lunch breaks for that.
But was that always a source of controversy with her that you
It was, but she definitely did express a desire. She was supportive. I think there, may have been a limit as far as like, or not really a limit to supportiveness, but just in general, I think that it was a benefit to be able to move that to somewhere that would, net us more time, have me not leaving to go do that. And so I don't know that she was necessarily displeased, at least not, where that she had expressed that to me so directly.
But again, you would try to work that out to where your child was still asleep.
Yes,
wife was
ma'am.
still asleep.
Yes, ma'am. And we did.
And so, again, y'all both were working, had to dedicate time during the workday, and y'all put Bryce in daycare.
Yes, ma'am.
And did he flourish there? Was it a good situation?
Yes, ma'am, it was. It's a good daycare.
Okay, where does he go?
He goes to Walnut Street Church of Christ.
And again, that's the routine that he's developed.
Yes, ma'am.
And have y'all continued that throughout the?
We did until I realized, like, so as he got older, his needs changed versus having, just a baby or an infant that's in diapers. And so I realized that I could keep him home with me while that I worked my first part of my shift and get to spend more time with him because of the way that my job has the flexibility to do that and also provide direct care for him during that time. And it netted me more time with him, and then also so that I could maintain his routines. Whenever I got off, I put him down for his nap. That was at the same time that daycare usually naps the kids.
How long did you do that?
I've done that since last June. I still do that today.
Still do it today. So when he's with you, he does not go to daycare.
That's correct.
So you're right now getting him on Friday at 3 o'clock and keeping him until Tuesday at 7 a.m.
Yes, ma'am.
And you agreed, instead of him staying with you, to carry him back to daycare. Why?
I wasn't keeping him home at the time, and I didn't know that was an option. Her parenting time began, and I thought that I had to adhere to that at 7 a.m.
Well, did she pick him up at 7 a.m. at the daycare? Did she go on to work on Tuesdays?
To my knowledge, she went on to work.
Whether it's at home or whether it's at Brentwood?
Correct.
Okay. But you had the availability to keep him, but you were not allowed?
Correct.
And so you keep him at home on the alternate Tuesdays.
Yes, ma'am,
Keep
I
him till
do.
6. He doesn't go, so he's only going every other week to daycare on Tuesdays.
Yes, ma'am.
But you would be able during the week to keep him at home
I would love to.
on your whole, anytime you had him. If you had him a whole week, he wouldn't go to daycare your week at all, would he?
No, ma'am.
Judge, I've let it go on.
I'll
just for
rephrase, I do, I was trying to move
simplicity,
through, I apologize. What would your plan be? I didn't mean to steal your thunder, Judge, I'm sorry, but I knew I
It's
was
all right.
leading, so I self-corrected, sorry about that. What would your plan be for Bryce?
My plan would be to continue doing as I'm doing now and keep him home with me. With the exception, we just enrolled him with their preschool program. And so that would be, I believe we signed him up for Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so I would take him and then go pick him up when preschool is over.
And Walnut Street is it a full-day daycare or is it a half a day? I mean, a preschool? Is it,
It's a half a day.
and when you say we enrolled him, you and your ex-wife,
Yes, ma'am.
were y'all able to discuss it and come to an agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
And tell me what that discussion was. He's going to be 4 in September.
Yes, ma'am.
So he's right at that cutoff age of whether he'll start school next year or not.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? So did y'all have discussion about getting him into a preschool? For what reason?
I think it was just the benefit of any educational things that I think that it would be good for him because he's learned a lot from daycare and the socialization of with the other kids and things. And so I think we didn't. It wasn't. I think we both knew that we wanted him to be enrolled in the preschool program, and it's also a faith-based program, so that he would be learning about Jesus and that type of thing. So
y'all were able to discuss that and come up with an agreement?
yes, ma'am.
So again, your work schedule seems consistent. And again, how do you want, during the course that y'all, before the separation and even doing, let's talk about Bryce's day-to-day things.
Okay.
When y'all were together, before you left the marital residence, how did you said you did a lot of things jointly. Did y'all go, was Bryce a well child?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, he just had.
Well, when you say well child, what does that mean?
He doesn't have any chronic medical conditions, does he? Or
He doesn't have chronic medical conditions, but he got sick a lot because he was in daycare from the beginning. So
other than normal respiratory issues, flus, croup, cough, things like that, he's a well child. He
Oh,
doesn't
yes,
have any
ma'am.
type of significant disabilities, correct?
correct.
But during the course, he would get sick and have to go to well child checkups, get shots, things like that. How did y'all deal with that?
So the well child visits, those we always went together. I believe that both of us attended every single one of them prior to the separation. For the sick part, he would not be eligible to go to daycare, especially if he ran a fever. He would also be ineligible for the following day. And so I handled a large portion of the whenever keeping him home because I have more work flexibility and I was given a more generous amount of paid time off to be able to care for him.
And again, that's not because either one of you had the ability, didn't want to do it. You just had the flexibility with your job.
That is correct. She also did care for him when he was sick too.
Right. And again, but given the fact y'all didn't have to affect yourself financially, did you?
Correct. Oh, wait, yeah.
Was that ever a source of controversy or was that just agreed between y'all? Hey, you've got more time off, you take it.
It was just agreed.
Okay. What about other things as far as Bryce? Did y'all delegate responsibilities? I mean, who cooked for him?
Neither of us really cooked for him. I would feed him in the afternoons whenever I was picking him up. I would go and get him, his favorite thing is cheese sticks and cheesy tots from Sonic. So I would, once I found something he liked, I would get him dinner there. And then we would she would pack his breakfast that he went with, which was typically just a pack of blueberry muffins. Mm-hmm. But I don't think we did much actual cooking for him.
Okay. But you both were able to do that. Who did the grocery shopping?
I She did a lot of his grocery shopping. I was trying to think. It took me a second, but I also offered to pick up not only groceries for him but also for her, because I was more on a set routine of, like, I had a specific grocery day where that I picked things up. So there were times where that if he needed more muffins or more milk or something like that, that I grabbed those things for him.
Neither one of y'all said that's your responsibility, go do it. I'm refusing to go do that.
No.
Who did the laundry?
I typically did all of the laundry.
And again, just day-to-day cleaning up the house, making sure that Bryce's room was clean, he had clean sheets on his bed, things like that. Who did that?
That was typically fell to me, but she did it sometimes.
And again, she had to leave the house to go to work more than you did.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're there and able just to do it because you're home.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, managing money, making sure that the bills were paid. Who was responsible for making sure that Bryce's daycare was paid?
That was me.
Okay. Did y'all routine paying the mortgage, the utilities, things like that? Who did that?
I paid for everything except for the car insurance that came out of her account, and every month she would just send me just a lump sum of, like, some bill money to go towards it.
So y'all didn't ever commingle your assets, your finances, did you?
No, ma'am.
Okay. You paid certain bills out of your account, she paid out of her account.
Yes, ma'am.
And out of your account, what was coming out of your account?
All the utilities, the mortgage, my car payment, the subscription services, phone bill, TV, internet. I'm trying to think. Gym membership. We had a shared gym membership.
Did she ever go to the gym?
Some, a handful of times.
And then what was out of her income?
She paid for her car note, and she paid for the car insurance for both of our vehicles, and then she sent me $905 per month to go towards the rest of the bills.
Okay. And you do make more money than she does, isn't that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on a salary?
Yes, ma'am. I don't have the exact number, but I believe it is $145,000 and some change. Yes, I did get a raise. It was in March 15th. Yes, ma'am.
We did this previously, so you've had a little bit of an increase since then, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
But you were making $145,000 and some change, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And from that, do you have health insurance for you and Bryce?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're currently covering your wife also? You have a family plan, or is you just employee child?
Just employee child.
And has that always been the case?
Yes, ma'am.
And she has health insurance on her own?
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
You agree that you're going to continue to keep health insurance on Bryce, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it good coverage?
It is great coverage.
Okay. And you have no problem doing that, is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Now, there was a court order stating that you were not to have your child around your girlfriend, and have you complied with that?
Completely.
And has she now relocated here?
She has.
When did she move here?
Approximately October 21st of 2025.
And so, again, it was stated in opening argument that every chance you would get, you'd dump your kid and run off to have sex with your girlfriend. Is that true?
That is not true.
Said that you left your child at the left and went to satisfy your carnal desires when your child was in the hospital. Was that a true statement?
That was not true.
Let's talk about what was untrue about
Would you like me to,
that? Yeah.
the whole timeline? Bryce was dropped off to daycare. I believe that was around March 18th
Of 2020.
of 2025. So this was last year. He was dropped off at about 8 a.m.
Before y'all went to court.
This was before court. Yes, ma'am. Yes, this was before court. He was dropped off at 8 a.m. The daycare worker,
Who dropped him off?
Kayla, dropped him off. It was at that point in time we were executing the it was 3443 parenting plan, and it was her parenting time, and she dropped him off at 8 a.m. And the daycare worker, her name was Dalen Tinsley, messaged us on Brightwheel. We have an app that daycare communicates with both of us. She messaged at about 10:01 that he had a 104-degree fever. And Kayla called me and asked me if I could go and pick him up. And I wasn't supposed to get him back until 5. And so I went and picked him up and got him home and got him Tylenol to try and get his fever down and trying to assess whether or not he needed to go to the doctor. I was able to control his fever for the next day, but then he woke up the following day and he still had a fever. I have great insurance, and $35 to be able to make sure that he's okay is a pretty easy decision to make. I took him to DMA South, where he was tested for flu, strep, and COVID. I believe this was the 19th. He tested negative for all of them. I took him home, continued medication. They didn't give him any prescription. We woke up the next day. It was around 4 p.m. I noticed a lump on his neck, and I wasn't very comfortable with his fever remaining. And so I took him back to DMA South. They tested him again, and I wanted the lump on his neck evaluated. And at that point, he tested positive for strep. The doctor recommended that I take him to the Vanderbilt pediatric ER. So I left immediately, drove to my apartment, grabbed the minimal amount of stuff that I needed for him to be able to, bottle a diaper bag, and drove straight to Vanderbilt. Called Kayla on the way and told her what was happening, and she said she would meet me up there. She met me up there. They tested, did test an MRI on his neck to see. There was a concern that if it grew, it would close his airways. And we were there all night until about 3:30 a.m. 3:30 a.m. on Saturday. This was Saturday morning. Her parenting time was about to begin later that day, and she requested that she take him home to her house, to the marital home, so that he could rest because we had all been up all night. And so it was at that point that I agreed that that was in his best interest to let him go with her so he could rest. And so he did. And it was after that that we had an exchange, and it was my non-parenting time that I did fly to Washington.
He had gotten through, he had strep,
He had strep.
evaluated at 2 different hospitals.
Yes, ma'am.
You went to Vanderbilt, he was evaluated.
Yes, ma'am.
Did they give him medication?
They did.
And send him home?
Yes, they did. And I think the medication, they may have given him the first dose. Kayla contacted me later that day asking for me to go pick up the medication for Bryce and bring it to her house. And so I coordinated with my mom to go, and she picked up the medication and brought it to her.
So what was stated to the court is that you left when your child and went to Washington State with your child in the hospital overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Has there, during your course of this child's life, the 3.5 years that he's been alive, did that ever occur?
That never occurred.
Would you know why your now ex-wife would have told her attorney that you did that?
I don't know.
But it was a blatant misstatement, an untruth.
That's correct.
Did you, during this period of time, did you keep her in, you know, I take it y'all were communicating back and forth?
We were.
She had finished her 3 days and said he would, and had dropped him off at daycare.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you weren't to get him until that afternoon.
That's correct.
Because your schedule, were you able to pick him up and her not have to come back in from Brentwood
The Tuesday when he had the fever,
when he had the fever?
my schedule had not changed at that point, but I was off that day.
Okay. And again, do you believe by the phone call that she trusted you to care for y'all's child?
Objection. It's bleeding.
Why would she have called you and rather than getting up and leaving the work to come to tend to the child?
Because she trusted me to pick up and care for the child as I have anytime that he's sick.
And you did that?
I did.
And did you keep her informed of all the things that were going on?
Yes, ma'am.
When you carried him to DMA South the next morning, did you let her know?
Yes, ma'am. I believe. We've had a good history of maintaining good communication when it comes to anything related to him being sick. So I believe that would fit with what we normally do.
And carried him home. This was, and then do you remember, was this your 3-day or your 4-day period? Because if you would have picked him up Tuesday at 3 and you said she was getting back on Saturday.
Yes,
Is that
ma'am.
right? So it'd been Tuesday night to Wednesday night to Thursday night to Friday, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night. So this would have been your 4-day period.
That's correct.
Okay. And during that 4 days, did she call and check on him and you call and let her know how your son was doing?
Yes, ma'am. I believe we were in communication the entire
Was there
time.
ever a request made from her to say, hey, I want to come lay eyes on my child to make sure he's okay?
She did not.
Has there ever been any articulation from her? Did she ever gripe or say anything about the care you gave him during that period of time?
No, I don't. I don't recall there being a gripe because I took him to walk-in clinic visits as well as drove him to the ER.
Okay. And do you know, you contacted her on the way to the ER?
I
to
did.
Vanderbilt. Did y'all make decisions together there?
Yes.
And do you know what time y'all got discharged from Vanderbilt Children's Pediatric?
Around 3:30 a.m. Saturday morning.
That's Friday, early for Saturday, going into Saturday.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And had you already arranged to go out of town?
I had that afternoon, but upon her asking to take Bryce and her taking him home, and that's whenever I changed my flight to be earlier in the day because I was already in Nashville.
So you just left early?
Yes.
Okay. Did you check on your son while you were in Washington?
Yes.
Did you hide the fact that you were going to Washington from your wife? Did she know?
I believe at that point it was expected because she knew that I was traveling to see Ashley. So I don't think that was at that point a surprise.
Were you ever told, if what Ms. Duke's statement was true, were you ever told that she carried him back to the hospital on Saturday after you left and he spent the night in the hospital?
No, ma'am.
Is that the first time you've heard that she spent the night in the hospital with your child without you even knowing it when Ms. Duke said it just a minute ago?
That is the first time I've heard that.
I will correct my statement. Perhaps I did misstate one fact in that he left the hospital early, not that she was overnight. I will correct that.
All right, there's been a correction to the opening statement.
Okay, well, again, I did want to make sure there wasn't some night that you didn't know your child was in the hospital.
That is on me, not on my client.
Okay. So, did you leave the hospital early and leave your child there before he got discharged?
No, ma'am. I actually drove Kayla and Bryce to their vehicle in my vehicle because she had to park, I believe, further away, and we actually had trouble finding the car.
So again, you did not leave the hospital early. It was just,
No, ma'am.
y'all all left early in the morning.
Yes, and I believe that we met at a gas station because she needed gas, and it was 3:30 a.m. in the morning in Nashville, and she was afraid to pump gas by herself with the child. So I believe that I followed her to the gas station and waited for them to pump gas.
Well, again, this I may not need to bring it up, but did you get out of your car and pump her gas for her?
I don't recall, but I certainly hope that I would have done that.
I do too. So then after that, did y'all continue, that was been in, you said that was in March,
Yes, ma'am.
then y'all went to court in April.
That's correct.
And have there been any instances that you know of that there has been things going on since then that y'all haven't been able to articulate and make joint decisions?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about those.
The first one that comes to mind is he had a routine flu shot for his well child visit in September. We typically get the flu shot every year at that specific well child visit. She refused the vaccine when we were there, and we tried to discuss it before going in there. And she said that she was the primary residential parent and that she was the one that was to make the final call. And so she didn't decline that vaccine that we had traditionally gotten. And so she said that I could take him on my parenting home, which I did and completed that on October the 6th. There was a slight delay because he was sick and you can't get him vaccinated while he was sick. That's one instance.
Has she become an anti-vaxxer for some reason?
No, ma'am. She supported getting the vaccine. She didn't want it to affect his birthday party that she had scheduled for the next day.
Okay. So it wasn't some anti-vax and conspiracy issue. It was just, does he typically have a reaction in the past?
No, ma'am.
Has there been a reaction? Some kids get a vaccine and they kind of get fevery and things afterwards.
He might be a little more tired than normal. But when I got him the vaccine, I didn't, in October, I didn't notice any issues at that point.
But he was going to a well child visit.
He was, yes, his yearly.
And do you know whether your insurance pays for vaccines? Some do, some don't.
I believe it does, yes.
And did y'all have a discussion there in the doctor's office, or was it before?
It was before we went in. It was inside of the doctor's office in the waiting room.
Okay. And she just said, we're not getting it today,
She did,
but you can carry him back and get it.
yes.
That resulted in, was there an additional copay that then had to be paid?
I believe that one was also free.
Okay, so you didn't have, it wasn't any additional expense.
No, ma'am.
But you were was there any indication on that she wanted to be present during this vaccine, or were you just allowed to do that as she articulated her being primary?
I was just allowed to do that. She articulated that it was fine.
There's some, and then have there been other issues that have come up?
Yes.
Let's talk about those.
Related to,
Y'all not being able, again, y'all talked about, you kind of shared this parenting responsibility, y'all were able to talk and get along. And I asked you, were there issues particularly where y'all disagreed and could not come up with an agreement?
right. We had issues whenever it came to signing him up for T-ball this year.
Would this been the first year that he would really be old enough to participate in extracurricular activities?
That is correct.
Did y'all discuss it?
We did.
And tell us about the sum and substance of that discussion.
The T-ball discussion, I said that I wanted to enroll him in Buckner. What did she think? And she stated that that Charlotte was the better option, that it was a better program. a better T-ball program, and she didn't want to enroll him at Dixon. She said she was also open to Burns, I believe, but we couldn't reach an agreement, at which point I think you guys were involved to try to help us get to a resolution.
And what happened?
The deadline to register was almost up, and you advised me to sign him up so that he didn't miss out on playing that season. And I believe he reached out to Hillary, and then I learned sometime later at an exchange that she had also signed him up in Charlotte.
Did he play?
He did.
Where did he play?
He played in both leagues.
Did y'all both participate in both leagues?
We did.
Seemed to enjoy it?
He did.
Now, she was living at the time where?
She was living in the marital residence,
Which is where?
which is about a quarter mile away from Buckner Park.
It's in the plate. What was the street name?
Country Club Drive.
Country Club Drive. I think that's near where Miss Duke lives.
It could be. Does she live across the street?
Judge, if we could not post on where I live,
We're not going to
thank
post any
you.
addresses.
The,
see this pin,
well, it's close
Jennifer?
to mine too. It's close to
Oh.
my house too.
I've got
okay?
Jennifer's address for the record.
It's public knowledge, okay?
You know, there is I think now that there's not a posting of public record of lawyers' home addresses now, that's a new thing that that the Bar Association, or, I don't know. I know they don't post judges' addresses anyway. So.
Well, the problem is I was born and raised here, and if you don't know my address, just ask somebody, because I'm either related to them, I've sued them, I've represented them, and so they can probably tell you where I am, so. And
Let
this-
the record reflect that I'm okay with everyone having Jennifer's address.
The record will reflect that Ms. Duke is okay with everyone in the world having Ms.
Right.
Roberts' home address.
All right, so again, she lives there right down Old Pond Lane. You cross over Old Pond Road, and Buckner Park is right there.
Yes, ma'am.
For the record, I'm well aware of the area that we're talking about and how close it is to Buckner Park.
And he goes to daycare in Dixon
He does.
at Walnut Street Church of Christ.
Yes, ma'am.
Does he have a group of little friends?
He does.
And where does his group of little friends play ball?
Unfortunately, they didn't play at either place.
So, again, y'all, he got the benefit of y'all not being able to agree to play two different plays. Was there ever conflict about it?
There was.
What was the conflict?
Initially, it was I wanted to have a discussion with Kayla about that we probably shouldn't take him to 2 T-ball games in one day, that would be a lot for him at 3.5. I think she was initially disappointed, and then we sort of adopted that going forward, that when he was with me, I would take him to Dixon. When he was with her, he would go to Charlotte, unless there wasn't a Dixon game whenever, and vice versa. So if Charlotte would have been available and Dixon didn't have a game and I had him, I would have taken him to Charlotte. She took him to his baseball practices that were in Dixon. And then the conflict happened around snacks, giving him snacks at a T-ball game, where that Kayla sent a message to me prior to a Charlotte game that I was not to bring, me or my parents were not to bring snacks to give to Bryce during the T-ball game. And so I told my parents not to bring snacks, and so we didn't. I didn't respond to that specific message in app close, and so she came over before the game started and confronted me and my family about, and started telling us that she wanted to lay some ground rules and that we were not to give him any snacks during the game.
What y'all bringing?
Oreos. And we had Cheetos Puffs, but not at that game. That might have been the second or third game.
Well, was it just the nutritional value of those snacks,
No, ma'am.
or the fact that Cheeto dust gets everywhere?
No, ma'am.
What was the issue?
The issue was she felt that was distracting him from playing T-ball, and that it was keeping him from participating.
Would you give him snacks during the game?
She did. In fact, he ate some other kids' Cheetos in the dugout.
So it was just a matter of not bringing snacks, but giving it to him during the game.
I actually, hold on, I may have missed. He ate some other kids' Cheetos. I don't recall if she specifically brought him snacks, but he did have snacks available in his bag. But typically she said that he had already eaten, but I believe that he did have snacks in his bag.
But she asked you not to do something and you didn't do it.
That's correct.
Now, y'all were specific in this parenting, in this temporary order. Neither party shall discuss the divorce with the minor child. Have you followed that?
Can you repeat that question?
The temporary parenting order states,
Yes,
neither party shall discuss the divorce with the minor child. Have you followed that?
I have followed that, yes.
And do you have any reason to believe she hasn't?
Just, can you be specific when you say discussed?
Well, again, y'all video and FaceTime your child.
That's correct.
There's a specific provision, and in the parenting plans that both parties shall have FaceTime and video conferencing calls with the minor child one time per day when the child is not in their care or custody. Said FaceTime or video conferencing shall not be on speakerphone and shall only occur with AirPods in and earbuds in while talking to the minor child. Is
Yeah.
that what y'all have done?
That is what I've done.
Okay.
I did not witness the several of those provisions being followed
So
on
when
the
you,
other side.
when you have Bryce,
Yes.
his mother, does she place the call or do you place the call to her?
I place every call, regardless of who has him.
So so when you've got Bryce for your time, one time a day, you'll call Miss Kayla.
Yes,
And then, do you let him have a conversation with her?
of course, yes.
Do you interrupt or bring things up when he's talking to her?
No, ma'am.
Is it on speakerphone where you can overhear their conversation?
It is on speakerphone whenever he is with me because he can't wear the AirPods. The AirPods were for when the non-custodial parent is calling in to talk to the child.
Okay,
So it was on speakerphone for that.
okay. So you're just handing him the phone?
I got a tripod and tried to set it up so that it would be easier to manage the call. I was trying to make sure he had a good experience.
And then during your calls with him, when he's with her, what has happened?
A lot. He has gotten exposed to a tremendous amount of conflict on these calls. That also included discussions of the marriage being brought up and various things,
Who would bring those discussions up?
as she would.
And what would you do would you answer her? Would she question you? Would she just make statements? Tell me what went on.
She would ask questions and make statements, and I did my best to either answer minimally or redirect to Bryce. Redirecting to Bryce was my primary thing to do.
So do you believe that she violated the provisions of that parenting?
Objection to leave.
What?
Sustained, don't leave the witness.
I do believe that she violated.
Let me rephrase
Yeah,
the
sure.
question. Okay. Can you explain to the court what transpired as far as during these video calls with your ex-wife now?
Yes, there was. I believe that she violated the order as is written, and they were interfered with. There was disparagement, inappropriate topics that were brought up, and a lot of conflict that appeared to me to make Bryce want to shy away from the phone in general.
And give me an example of some of those,
An example of him shying away from the phone.
of her comments.
So I think on one call, she she was basically saying to Bryce that Daddy left us all the time to go to the gym. There was one call where, in particular, where that she tried to police that I was supposed to be in a separate room that wasn't part of a court order, and I had Bryce engaged with me, which was sort of difficult to do with a 3-year-old, to hold their attention, and I was putting together this little race car, and he was really into it.
Now, was he with her or with you?
He was with her.
Okay, so you're talking to him.
I'm talking to him, and he's watching me put together this race car, and she was she was talking very loudly, very angrily towards me, and I was continuing to ignore it, and I think she reached a breaking point, to which point she grabbed the phone from Bryce, and you can hear Bryce crying in the background that he wanted to see the phone because he wanted to continue watching me play with the car. And she proceeded to give me her thoughts because she pointed the phone directly at herself. And then she ended the call. And then I tried to call back so I could continue talking and to Bryce. And she informed me that she was recording this and sending this to Hillary. And she gave Bryce the phone back, and then we resumed, and then overhead, she flipped me off on the camera behind Bryce's back.
Okay, and flipping off means that she extended her index finger in it?
Her middle finger.
Okay. Albeit behind your child's back?
Yes.
And again, there's a provision in your parenting plan that said, contrary to what was stated, both parties shall enjoy the right of first refusal if either parent is unable to care for the minor child for a period of 2 or more hours. You heard an opening statement that she said that you were supposed to do that. That's in fact a joint obligation for both of y'all.
That's correct.
Has there been an occasion that you have not been caring for your child for 2 or more hours?
No, ma'am.
Have there been an occasion that you've asked your parents to keep your child for you to accomplish some task?
That is correct, yes.
And what tasks are those typically?
I would go to the gym. We have sort of a routine every other Sunday that I have him. They come over, they watch him, and I use it not only to go to the gym, but even if I need to go get groceries, or I picked him up his favorite Sonic meal.
And so it's time with his paternal grandparents.
It is.
And what does he call them?
Gammy and Pop Pop.
Have you ever left your child more than 2 hours and not off, period? Have you, since the separation, have you had to be gone more than 2 hours during your parenting time?
No, ma'am. And I've fully complied with the court order.
To your knowledge, has she ever communicated with you that she's going to be gone for more than 2 hours and you need to, and for you to take care of the child?
Yes.
When was that?
It was around November the 4th. He was sick, and she needed to work. And so I offered, which I routinely do, to take care of him. And so I took off work and took him to the doctor and got his medication from Walmart and took care of him until she was off work.
Then did you turn the medication over to her?
I did.
What did you tell her about the doctor?
I told her how the doctor's visit went, which I actually believe I sent her a message once we got back home to tell her how it went and that he had been given medication.
Now, you are planning on, the house is now sold.
Yes, ma'am.
Y'all divided the proceeds.
Correct.
And you're currently living at the same apartment that you were before.
Correct.
What are your plans as far as housing?
My plans, I've leased a larger rental house so that me and Bryce can have more space. And I intend to move into that rental house.
And where is that?
It is, you want the address? It is 126 Harvest Circle in Dixon, Tennessee. It's right in the heart of Dixon.
Okay. And when do you move it? When will you be relocating and moving in?
I'll actually be relocating starting tomorrow because I like to make sure that I get all my things done for Bryce to come back and spend my time with him. I don't want to be moving. And that was my last.
Is your lease up at your apartment at the end of the month?
Yes, ma'am. June the 1st is the last day. So I have until then if I needed.
But you're going to be in the process of moving.
That's correct.
But again, not a very far distance from where you're living right now.
That's correct.
And the house sold, do you know where your ex-wife went to?
Yes, she moved. It's out past the interstate. I believe it's close to Tidwell Switch. It's like some new road that didn't exist before.
Did she purchase, or to your knowledge, did she purchase a home or is renting?
She purchased.
And so she's already moved and relocated,
She has.
and that's within Dixon County, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, have y'all discussed whether or not Bryce will start school next year?
We have not.
Again, he's right there on the cusp of not being 5 until September 6th, what day?
It'll be 4 on September the 8th this year.
8th. Okay, so September 8th, he'll be 5.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you know where he would be zoned to go to school for you?
I do. He would be zoned to Burns Elementary and Burns Middle, and then Dixon High School.
Okay, that's with your house.
Oh, with me, no, it would be Dixon. Yeah, it would be Oakmont Elementary, Dixon Middle, and then Dixon High School.
But for her, it would be Burns.
It would be Burns.
But do you either one of you have an intent, to your knowledge, have y'all, either one of you discussed with each other about relocating outside of Dixon County?
No, ma'am.
Do you believe that you want him to be required to attend school here?
I do.
Do you have a preference as to whose home it's going to be zoned for?
I have a preference, but I'm open.
What is that preference?
My preference would be Dixon City.
And why is that?
Because this is where that his home has been. This is where both parents have lived. This is where that he goes to daycare and is currently enrolled to begin preschool this year in Dixon. I have strong family support here, and I intend to maintain Dixon as a resident.
Now, what about your relationship with your girlfriend? Is that something that you plan on maintaining?
Yes, ma'am.
She's relocated here.
She has.
Where is she living?
She actually lives right across the street at 127 Harvest Circle.
Okay. And that's across the street from the house you're moving into.
That is correct.
You understand there's been a provision that again, she was the other woman.
Yes.
And have you subjected your child to her, introduced your child, or done anything as far as the concern?
Not after the temporary parenting plan. He was introduced to her one time. It was actually during the time where that he was sick. She had flown down with me. And so she did meet him in person prior to there being a temporary parenting plan that one time.
Did her children relocate with her?
They did.
And did they enroll in school here?
They did.
And where did they go to school?
They go to school at Oakmont.
Now, your son hasn't met her children, correct?
Correct.
And she's here to testify.
She is.
Do you think there's any provision on why she should not be allowed to be around your child?
No, ma'am.
Now, again, you understand you hurt your wife's feelings.
I do.
You broke her trust.
I did.
Have any excuse to offer for that?
Not an excuse, but it wasn't. I didn't handle that properly. I definitely could have handled things the right way by ending the marriage first before starting a new relationship. And so I think that was a mistake.
Have you made every effort to cooperate in parenting with your child, with your now ex-wife?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you believe she's done the same for the most part?
For the most part, yes.
And again, why do you think you should be designated as the primary residential
I think that there has been a lot of emotional volatility involved that may have led to, decisions being made that may not best suit Bryce. But also, I think that him not being fragmented across Dixon County, as far as him being in the Dixon school system that is here locally, I think that that would offer him stability long term, as far as maintaining the things that he's used to, making sure that he gets that yearly flu shot when we typically do.
And you've done those things.
I have.
All right, that's all. Thank you, sir.
I'm going to start and work backwards from where you stopped since it's fresh. The child's best friend at school is currently zoned for Charlotte Elementary. Is that correct? Or do you even know?
The child's best friend,
Yes.
Griffin. Zoned for.
Charlotte Elementary?
I'm not aware of where his parents live.
Okay. And the minor child has two very good friends at school that are zoned for Burns currently, correct?
Can you repeat that question again?
The minor child has two friends at daycare, two really good friends at daycare that are zoned for Burns right now. Is that correct?
I don't know that. Can you, what friends? There's
Yes.
Callahan, I know him. Tinlin? Are those the ones that you were referring to?
Yes. Do you have any knowledge of anyone that is actually zoned for Oakmont?
No.
So the minor child's friends are actually zoned for the school where the mother is residing. Is that correct?
Did you just say his best friend was zoned for Charlotte?
His very best friend, but he's got two other friends zoned for Burns. Is that correct?
I don't know if his other two friends are zoned for Burns.
Okay. Have you never had a play date with them?
No.
Okay. Now, why is it that today is the first day Miss Cuff is hearing about where you're relocating to? Why have you waited to tell her that?
Because I haven't even started relocating my possessions from the apartment to the house yet.
Okay, when did you find this place?
I found it a month ago.
And did it occur to you to have a conversation with her that you thought you might be moving there?
Yes, of course.
Okay, but you didn't do that, did you, sir?
I did not talk to her about the residence yet, based on how our conversation went with her new residence and the timeline in which we exchanged the information about addresses. So I was following that as
She gave you her information, didn't she?
she did. At what point? She gave me her, she did not give me the actual address to the house until I needed to pick him up. And then it was more of directions because the address, she brought it up, but it wasn't until the day that I was going to go pick him up that I learned the location of the address.
She didn't wait until you two were in court to tell you that she was relocating to Burns.
She did not tell me she didn't tell me she was relocating to Burns.
Now, prior to the T-ball discussion, you two, when you were happily married, had discussions about the minor child playing T-ball in Charlotte with his cousins, correct?
With his cousins,
Yes,
as in they played there.
yes.
Yes, we did discuss Charlotte when we were married.
Okay. And you guys, and that's the reason, it wasn't any big surprise to you that Miss Cuff wanted the minor child to play in Charlotte, and she thought you wanted the child to play in Charlotte also, correct?
I believe that that's what she thought.
Okay. And because your girlfriend's children were playing at Buckner, you wanted your child to play at Buckner, correct?
My girlfriend's children do not play at Buckner.
Okay. Were you just being obstinate then?
Obstinate?
Yeah, were you just being difficult with her and wanting to do something that was out of what you had already discussed?
No, I thought that it was in Bryce's best interest and fit better into his routine that he be enrolled at Buckner because she lived a quarter mile on Country Club. That used to be the old golf course. And his daycare was approximately 1 to 2 miles away. And I thought that since we both lived in Dixon, that that would be a better fit. That at 3 years old, that the quality of the program wouldn't really have an impact because they were mostly just playing in dirt.
And you decided, though, sir, to deviate from what you had previously discussed when you were happily married. Is that correct? Yes or no? And then you can answer.
Can you repeat the question?
You decided to deviate from what you had previously discussed with her, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you actually signed without, she's the primary parent right now, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And you actually signed this child up without her permission in Dixon. Is that correct?
I signed him up with guidance from Jennifer in order for him to not miss
That
the
wasn't the
deadline.
question. The question was, you signed this child up in Dixon without the agreement of the mother, correct? Yes or no?
That is correct.
And she came around to the idea after you did that and said, okay, well, I'll do half the time in Charlotte and you do half the time in Dixon, and you guys came to a mutual agreement that that's how it was going to work. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. After you initiated signing the minor child up against the agreement of Miss Cuff, she's the one that made the compromise. Is that fair?
No.
Okay. Regarding the flu shot, you agree, sir, that this minor child had a birthday party in September.
He did.
Okay. And your parents had a birthday party and you helped with that birthday party in September. Is that correct?
I had a birthday party that my parents helped me with.
Okay. And Ms. Cuff tried to have a joint birthday party, didn't she?
She did.
Okay. And you refused to allow her to attend the birthday party that you were throwing. Is that correct? Yes or no first, and then you can explain.
Say that. Can you repeat the question?
You told Ms. Cuff she couldn't attend your child's birthday party that you were throwing for the child.
Yes, I did so because there was continued emotional volatility, and I didn't think that that would be a very good thing for Bryce's birthday party.
Well, let me ask you about this, sir, because you've brought that up a couple of times. You have an extramarital affair for months before you tell your wife, before she finds out from getting phone records. You never actually told her, did you? She found out from phone records. Yes or no?
No.
Okay. And she's not allowed to process her emotions as a result of you walking out on her and on the minor child?
Not to the detriment of Bryce.
Now, when you had your birthday party for the minor child the weekend before Ms. Cuff did, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And then the minor child was due for his well check and getting a flu shot a few days prior to her birthday party. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And based on previous reactions to flu shots, Ms. Cuff tabled the flu shot for a few days. Is that correct?
Tabled? Yes, she
Put it on the back burner.
Sustained, allow him to finish his answer.
He
Make
said-
sure you answer the question she's asked.
Judge, if I may, he did say, and I don't want the court to think I was interrupting him on purpose. He said tabled in a questioning manner, so I apologize if I was
You thought he
interrupting.
had stopped.
Yeah,
She declined the flu shot while we were there.
okay. And her reasoning was because the child runs a fever after that, and she didn't want the child to run a fever for her birthday party since you wouldn't allow her to participate in your birthday party.
Correct, but a month prior, I reached out to her regarding birthday parties and the proximity of his well child visit in app close, asking if we should move the well child visit in either direction so that there was no interference, and she declined.
And she declined because the closer you can stay to the child's birthday, the more, with the way insurance hits, the better off you are. Well child checkups need to be as close to the birthday as possible. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay. Because next year, if the well child check is ahead by a day, from a year to a day ahead of time, you don't get covered on insurance for that well child check, correct?
I don't know if that's true, but should there have been any issue with the insurance, I was the person that was paying for it.
Okay, but you understand, sir, that before you can have the next year's well child check, you have to wait 365 days, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And so you need to keep it for purposes of schooling and everything else as close as you can to the child's birthday. Right?
Yes.
Okay. So are you faulting her for waiting an extra week to get the child's flu shot? Is that what I heard you testify to a few minutes ago?
I'm concerned that we declined a routine flu shot when that has been the status quo for his entire life.
Okay. But you understand that you upset the status quo when you walked out on your marriage, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so things like this have to work themselves out, especially when you will not invite her or allow her to attend a child's birthday party on his birthday. Is that fair?
Can you rephrase it? What was the question?
You have to work out these things that are upset by what you have done in this marriage, and you have to adjust schedules and things in order to facilitate what's going on with the child.
I don't think that the affair should impact the routine care that is given to Bryce.
Okay, well, let's talk about that. The entire time you were in the hospital with the minor child, you had your girlfriend in your ear on your AirPod listening to everything that was being said, didn't you?
That is true.
Okay, because she didn't trust you to be in a room by yourself with Miss Kayla Cuff, did she?
That is not true. In fact, Kayla was having me tell things to Ashley during that phone call, and had actually requested that she be able to hold the phone and directly speak to her.
That was after your girlfriend got mad because Kayla was sitting next to you, had moved next to you in the hospital room so the two of you could care for your child. She was jealous, wasn't she? The girlfriend.
She was upset.
She was upset that you were spending time alone with Miss Cuff.
We weren't spending time alone.
I think she referred to it as playing house with Miss Cuff. Do you recall that?
I do not.
Now, you turned around as soon as you were released from the hospital and hopped a flight to Washington. Is that correct?
Yes, I took an earlier flight than the one that I had planned.
Okay. And that was for, from the text messages, it appears that it was a booty call of sorts. Is that fair?
No.
Okay. So you didn't go out there for the purpose of having sex and consummating your relationship with Ashley?
I went there to spend time with Ashley.
And this is at the same time when Miss Cuff is caring for your child that's just been released from the hospital.
Correct. We did the exchange, and so he was in her care, and at that time, That is whenever I left.
And you recall, sir, that you get all the prescriptions from Walmart. Is that fair? You get your prescriptions filled at Walmart for the minor child,
I do, yes.
okay? And at this time, you took off to Washington, and she had a sick child at home and needed your assistance picking up a prescription from Walmart so that she didn't have to walk the child into Walmart. Is that correct? Yeah,
Are you-
yes or no first. She needed your assistance to help pick something up so your child wasn't exposed to.
He's assuming facts not in evidence, Ms. Duke. You can ask him whether or not she needed his assistance, but your question assumes the fact that she needed his assistance. which
Sure.
I
Did
would
she ask?
sustain the
sorry.
objection.
Did she ask you to assist her in going to Walmart so that she didn't have to walk your child into Walmart?
She did.
Okay. And where were you when she asked that?
I'm not sure what time that was that she asked, but I believe that I was in Washington.
Okay. And did you have to enlist the services of someone else to get that medication?
Yes, as usual, not as usual, but my parents have been highly involved in caring for Bryce, and that was not a abnormal thing to ask.
Are you aware that your minor child had to have some significant allergy testing?
Yes,
Okay, wherein his back was pricked 22 times and his arm was pricked with another panel of injections?
yes.
Okay, and where were you, sir, when that happened?
I was there in the office if you're referring to the first time he was allergy tested with
what-
Kayla with Bryce.
Okay, you've missed an allergy appointment where he had to be pricked, correct?
I did.
Okay, and where were you when that happened?
I don't recall my exact location.
You were in Washington, weren't you, sir?
I don't recall where I was. I was not present.
Okay, how many trips to Washington did you make during this temporary parenting time before Ashley moved to Tennessee?
I don't have an exact count.
Okay, you don't know how many airline tickets you bought?
No, ma'am.
Okay, how long is the flight from here to Washington?
Approximately 5 hours on a nonstop flight.
Okay, and were there multiple times where you had to request a later phone call or FaceTime with your minor child because you were on an airplane when the call was supposed to be placed?
There were times that I coordinated an alternate call time that we both agreed to.
Okay, because Ms. Cuff worked with you even though she knew you were on a flight to go see your, is it girlfriend or fiance right now?
Fiance.
Okay, because you were on a flight to see your fiance. She still coordinated with you, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
What if I don't grant it? Well, let's see, I guess you already have a divorce. I was going to say, in other cases in the old days, I could say, well, I may not grant either one of them a divorce. And how do they like that when they get engaged before they're divorced? But apparently their prior order in front of Judge Turnbow actually granted them the divorce. So,
Well, and I will say, Judge, I think we did that for ease of purpose because the wife was purchasing a home and
I don't care. I just started to make a smart comment and realized that it didn't apply.
it
So,
wasn't going to work.
was it one that I did? I remember that, the judge. Which judge was it? Judge Birch? Judge Wallace? So we're talking about ancient history here back when I was practicing law. So.
I'll entertain it, that's fine.
All right, sorry, I'm sorry for interrupting.
Previously, you said that, correct. When the child got sick at school and it was reported that he had a 104 temperature, Ms. Cuff called you because she believed you were in Dixon that day, correct?
I don't know where she thought I was.
Did she say, are you in Dixon?
I don't recall the specifics of the conversation.
But presumably, usually you would have been working in Dixon on that day, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And she would have been in Brentwood.
Yes.
So she called like any good co-parent should and said, hey, can you pick up the minor child?
Yes.
Okay. But sir, where were you on that date?
I believe I was in Cool Springs.
You're in a hotel with Ashley, is that correct?
No, ma'am.
Okay, Ashley had come to visit for 3 days. It was March the 18th, March the 19th, and March the 20th. And March the 18th is when the child got sick, correct?
I believe that's correct.
Okay. And so your testimony before this court is that you were not with Ashley in Cool Springs when you got the phone call that your child was sick.
I don't believe that was my testimony.
What was your testimony? Just tell me what it was then.
I don't think I was specifically asked if Ashley was with me during that time.
Okay. Ashley was with you, is that correct, sir?
That is correct.
Okay. Did it occur to you that maybe your wife would be closer to the minor child when she called you from Brentwood?
I don't know what she.
You agree with me, sir, that Cool Springs is farther out, a little farther out, not much, but a little farther out than Brentwood is from Dixon.
I don't really.
Oh, all right. Well, this court is well aware of the fact that Brentwood is further up the interstate than Cool Springs, but it depends on how you travel. If you go 96, you might be there quicker. So it's a matter of, the point is made, Ms. Duke, that he was with Miss Ashley. Your client was at work,
Yes, Your Honor.
and she called him for assistance, and that's how it happened.
Did it not occur to you to tell your wife that you were in Cool Springs and she might be closer if she'd like to go get him? Did it not occur to you?
I believe that I told her that I would be there in about an hour, roughly.
Okay.
I thought that I communicated the amount of time it would take me to pick him up.
But you don't know, do you? Sir?
No,
Okay. And you were with Ashley, is that correct?
that's correct.
Okay. And where were you with Ashley?
In Cool Springs Mall.
And why were you in Cool Springs Mall with Ashley?
I don't recall specifically why.
Okay. Had y'all rented a hotel room for 3 days?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Had you rented a hotel room?
No, ma'am.
So she was staying with you at the house and had planned on being there when your minor son was going to be there.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And this woman who you started a relationship over the internet with just 1 month prior met your minor child on the 18th or the 19th of March.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Spent the night in the same home with your child. Is that correct?
That's correct.
In retrospect, do you think that was a good idea?
In retrospect, I believe that was rushed.
Do you give your wife any credit for the fact that she was doing what was best for the child by contacting you to see who could get to the child the fastest?
Yes.
Now, when it was determined that the minor child was going to have to be taken from Horizon to, I'm sorry, was the child at Natchez or Horizon?
It for the ER, it was Vanderbilt Pediatric ER.
Okay, but prior to that, didn't you have to
DMA South.
DMA South? So when it was determined at DMA South that the minor child needed to be taken to Vanderbilt
Mr. Duke, is that
Children's,
microphone on? Okay.
I'll stay closer to it
That's
if
all
I
right.
need
You don't
to.
have to step closer. We can turn it up the volume a little bit. So
I'm just so loud, I hate speaking into them.
make no comment. So.
When you left DMA South and you knew that you were going to Vanderbilt Children's Hospital, your first phone call was not to the mother of this minor child, was it?
I don't recall.
Okay, you called your mother, didn't you?
I don't recall.
Okay. In retrospect, should you have called the mother first?
Likely yes.
Okay. So that she could get a head start on getting to Vanderbilt. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. But you didn't do that you recall, did you, sir?
Like I said, I don't recall in what order.
Okay. And did you let Ashley know also before you let the mother know?
I don't recall.
Okay. Now, when you told the court that for a period of a little bit close to a month that you guys exercised a 3-4-4-3 schedule, you told your wife at that time that she would be in legal trouble if she kept the minor child any more than half the time, didn't you?
I don't recall saying that.
Okay. Did you say anything to her about her getting in trouble for keeping the child from you?
It's possible.
Okay. And you can agree with me, sir, that you were manipulating her to some degree regarding visitation at that time. Is that fair?
I don't agree with that characterization.
Do you recall sending a text to your girlfriend, now fiance, that you were fucking around with Kayla?
I'd have to see. Do you have the context for the rest of the conversation?
I'll go through the, Judge, I need to go through these in order so Ms.
That's
Roberts
fine.
can keep up with me. I'll get back to that. Now, Ms. Roberts went through a litany of inheritances you've had and things like that that you invested into the marital residence. Is it your testimony that Ms. Cuff didn't invest any time or money or anything into the residences?
She did pay the mortgage, not pay the mortgage, but she sent me a lump sum each month that was her contribution towards the bills.
Okay. And you two had established a home prior to the marital residence you just sold that she had put love and care and everything else into to make it gain value when you sold it. Is that fair?
Is there specifics? If you're talking about cleaning the house, there was one thing that was done where that I saved $4,000 and my parents paid the other $4,000 to enclose the back porch. But other than that, there weren't any upgrades made to the home.
Okay, but she kept the house. She helped decorate the house. She helped do things to that house and you guys made money on that house. Is that fair? The first house you were in?
Yes, we made money on that
Okay.
house.
And that money was reinvested into the marital, the latest of the two marital residences. Is that fair?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So it's not your testimony today that she didn't have some sort of input with that. She didn't help out with that.
Correct.
And you cared so much for your family at the time that you had your affair that you pulled $37,000 out of retirement to move into an apartment away from your family. Did you do that?
Yes, I used that money to pay for.
Okay. Did you ask your wife if she had any issue with you pulling $37,000 out of retirement to set up a new residence?
No.
Did it occur to you that maybe you might ought to do that?
In hindsight, yes.
Okay. And you had already spoken to an attorney at that time about divorce, correct?
I pulled the money out prior to speaking to an attorney.
You agree with me that the regular routine at the house was for the two of you to give the child hugs and kisses at bedtime, and then she stayed, the wife stayed in the room and read books to the child. Is that fair?
No,
Okay. So if she testifies to that, that's not accurate.
no,
She's a good mom, isn't she?
yes,
Now, you agree that when you started having your extramarital affair, that you were going to the gym earlier and earlier in the morning, sometimes leaving at 3 a.m. and 4 a.m.
yes,
Okay. And that was time that you had taken away from the wife, is that correct? Time you had taken away from the child, I'm sorry.
I don't believe that that's true, at least for the week. It may have been for the weekend, those 2 days.
And she made sure that the minor child was up and awake and doing well.
Yes,
And during that time, even during days when you were available to keep the child still went to childcare, is that correct?
days, yes,
Okay. And up and until this divorce petition was filed, or the complaint for divorce was filed, the child attended daycare regardless of your two work schedules, didn't he?
yes.
And he likes daycare, doesn't he?
He likes daycare, but every time I go to take him to daycare, such as this morning, he asks to go back home.
Okay. Is it fair to say that that is good, the structure and the time that he is at daycare and the structure of daycare has been good for your child?
Yes, it's benefited him.
Okay. And it's benefited him socially, hasn't it?
It has.
Being the only child at home, he doesn't have siblings to help regulate, does he?
No,
Okay. Once this complaint for divorce was filed, you decided that he didn't need to go to daycare on your time, correct?
yes,
Okay. Was that by design so that you could try to sway this court to allow you to have more time with the child?
no, that was his needs changed as he got older, as well as my work schedule changed to allow me to be able to provide that direct care. And so I chose to do that.
But that's not something you chose to do or tried to rework your schedule before this complaint was ever filed.
His needs were different at that point in time. As he got older, it's easier to manage than, an infant, for example.
Jennifer, I don't know. It's just front and back on it. When you were cheating with Ashley on your wife and your wife didn't yet know, were you making plans already for how you were going to try to get custody of the minor child with Ashley?
Making plans. I was seeking 50-50 custody.
Okay. But were you making plans with Ashley that you were going to coordinate, and I didn't state this clearly enough, so I apologize, that you were going to wait to go see her until you had a custody order in place?
I don't understand.
Okay, were you calculated in how you were handling your relationship with Ashley and trying to figure out how you were going to do custody or visitation of your child?
I think we established the visitation. That was the 3443, and then the temporary parenting plan. We have what we have currently.
Do you recall her asking you, back to my point of once the convo has happened, you won't have to explain why you aren't going to be home at a certain time. You don't have to explain why you aren't home. She said that was redundant, multitasking, sorry. And you say 100% we could do weekends. You could do weekends with her is what you were saying. Is that correct? You want me to show it to you?
Sure.
Judge, may I approach since
You
we're
may.
sharing? And we could.
And I'm gonna. I understand.
Text messages between two other individuals and another individual?
Another individual, not between these two.
Okay.
Action is its calling for hearsay. That's what she's eliciting. Actually made comments. Statements on.
Ashley's statement admitted
Not just a question. Funding to.
sexualizing.
And that's what I'm objecting to. That's the hearsay.
Well, I am going to overrule the objection and allow it to be introduced. I will consider only his responses to in that regard, any statement that Ashley has made in the statements or in these text messages will not be considered by the court for the truth of the matter, but will be considered only in the light of the discussion they're having and his responses. I think Ms. Duke is entitled to show if she's attempting to, what his attitude was regarding the custody arrangements prior to the filing of the divorce. But again, these parties have now in a divorce. Both of them wanted to be divorced. They are now divorced. We're thrashing around quite a bit about stuff that's not going to help this court in making the decision, but I'm going to overrule the objection and allow it. So.
The inference that Ms. Duke is drawing from the conversation is plotting and doing discussion made about what's going to happen. I don't think that is. I just want to caution about maybe the question. I have an objection to how she's phrasing it. Reading what somebody else says and phrasing the question.
Ms. Duke, Ms. Roberts is objecting to you inferring something in the question. The court has done this long enough that I think I can read between the lines regarding your line of questioning and her objection. I'm allowing it in because I think it does tell the whole story to have the entirety of the text messages come in. I am not willing to accept any inference. I will draw my own inferences from what is said.
Back in February of 2025, you tell Miss Ashley, what did you say her last name was?
Jody,
Okay. And you told her, once I'm at my parents' house with a temporary custody order, I'll start catching flights.
yes, I think what that meant was that I would be able to fly to see her on non-parenting time.
Or when your parents were gone, correct?
That's not what I meant by that statement.
I'd ask Mark.
Will it be marked as Exhibit 1?
Yeah, I could do a collective exhibit if that's easier, Judge.
All right, are you going to introduce a series of text
Yes.
messages?
Yes.
All right, then we'll mark them as collective Exhibit 1.
Yeah, do you want me to have him circle what we were talking about? What he's reading is all I'm asking.
What he's reading is all I'm considering.
Well, may I have a sidebar with Ms. Roberts real quick?
You may. We're approaching the noon hour, and by the way, and apparently I'm going to have to meet with Captain Martin from the jail at 1:15, so I just wanted to let you guys know that, so.
So that, as long as you don't start right at 1 o'clock.
I won't be, it'll probably be more like 1:30 before I can start back. But I'm just making you aware of that so that we can break at as close to noon as possible so that I can take care of this meeting. You can go do what you need to and resume at 1:30. What happened to the other case that you had? All right. So do you want to keep talking or do you want to break for lunch now? Doesn't matter to me. I'm not cutting you off.
Probably, she's got more to go through with this. Now.
All right. I am all for that. We will stand in recess until 1:30 because of that meeting I have, so. All right.
We are, Judge. I'm
Mr.
getting
Cuff,
Ms.
I would
Roberts.
remind you that you are under oath. Just have a seat. I think I told our clerk 1:30, so she's not back in here, but we'll go on without her.
I'm getting Ms. Roberts' text together, Judge. Try to condense it down. Mr. Cuff, Mother's Day was this past weekend. What did you do to make sure that the minor child had what he needed for Mother's Day?
Wasn't this past weekend, was it? Unless I'm badly mistaken.
Weekend before last.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun, Judge. What did you do to make sure the child celebrated the mother?
I didn't do anything with Bryce with that regard. He did make something at daycare that he gave to his mother.
You've heard your fiance say things to you about hurting Miss Cuff before, haven't you?
Hurting Miss Cuff?
Hurting Miss Cuff, yes.
No.
Okay, did y'all have a conversation about a gun?
I believe you're referring to some text messages about an insensitive joke regarding Miss Cuff and the gun safety course that she took. and her being a bad shot or something like that. It was not any kind of threat and was in a private conversation.
Okay, was it after she had said that she would kill her before before Miss Cuff could kill her?
I'd have to see the rest of the context of the conversation.
You two have engaged, you and your fiance have engaged on multiple occasions speaking negatively about Miss Cuff, haven't you?
We've had some private moments of frustration,
Okay.
but nothing directly said.
Well, and your minor child has been present for some of those conversations, correct?
Not correct.
Okay. And the minor child sees how you treat the mother, is that fair?
I treat her with respect.
Okay. Can you agree with me that you've not always been respectful since the two of you have separated?
I disagree with that.
Okay. Well, was there, I'll get to that in just a second, Judge. There have been multiple occasions wherein you've allowed your fiance to be on the phone calls between you and Miss Cuff, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And what purpose does that serve, sir?
At the time, I believe you're talking about prior to the temporary, it was to help me if there was anything that was said, because there was a lot going on. Again, it was a emotionally volatile point in time where a lot of things were being said, and I was trying to focus on executing the call with my son and enjoying him having an enjoyable call. And so I wasn't so much focused on all the other things that were occurring on the call.
Okay, but there were phone calls between you and your wife wherein, or your now ex-wife, wherein you had your fiance now be a part of that phone call because your fiance didn't want you to have conversations with Miss Cuff by yourself, did she?
That's not true.
Okay, well, why did she have to be a part of the conversations, all of the conversations?
She wasn't a part of all of the conversations.
Does she know she wasn't a part of all the conversations? Your fiance?
Does she know? Yeah.
Do you have conversations with your fiance wherein you were trying to deceive your wife about where you were and when you were back in February of 2025?
Yes, that was the point of separation.
Okay. In particular, you were trying to think of how you were going to leave your wife and your son and go undetected to go see her. Is that correct?
Which conversation?
Judge, may I approach?
You may.
Absolutely. I'm trying to think of the best approach. I could say I have to be in office and could be there by 7 a.m.
Down here?
She doesn't leave until 7:15. So if I'm work from home, then I'd have to wait until she's out of Dixon and then leave.
And on this date, your wife was taking care of the child. Is that correct?
No, I don't believe so. I believe this was a work day where that he would have been at daycare.
It was the very first time. And there are front side and back side. Careful. So she would have taken the child to daycare, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And so she was caring for the child.
Yes, these never materialized.
That's it.
These are going to be collected, right?
shortly after you left, FaceTime you, is that correct? Shortly after you left marital residence?